So we're about to show you something that you've never seen before.
It's awfully big.
Yeah, it's very large, whatever that is.
What do you think it is?
I don't know.
Is there any chance, in your opinion, that FLIR anomaly is a portal? If you haven't done so already, make sure to go check out our most recent investigation at Peteetneet. In that video, I introduced a new piece of equipment, a FLIR ONE Pro, that Jamie was using while we were upstairs in the war room doing an S-Day session with Jason. What she captured in one of the photos is so convincingly paranormal that we are going to make this entire video dedicated to it. In this video, we're going to show you the compelling paranormal evidence that we have to support that this photograph is indeed an incredible paranormal capture. We bring on paranormal experts to weigh in and get their opinion. Is this a portal, an entity, or do you think this can be explained away? In our first investigation using the FLIR ONE Pro, Jamie mostly visualized the images through her iPhone, capturing just a handful of photos.
Yeah, I was mainly trying to figure out how it worked, what I was looking at, what the colors meant, and just trying to get a lay of the room. And then I noticed that there was an option to take video and photo, so I didn't even know the first 3/4 of the time that we were in that room that I could do that and how to do that.
In this first photo, we can see the radiator along the wall, emitting heat. And despite the dark nature of the room, the FLIR ONE Pro does a relatively good job of picking up detail. In this short video of me, you can see my reflection off the glass display case in front of me and the temperature of my surroundings behind me as well. But the final 2 photos that she took reveal an incredible and chilling anomaly. As she snaps a photo of Jason sitting directly in front of the Purple Heart, there is a dark, cold mass that appears to be draped over the front of the display case, just feet from where the Purple Heart lies.
Is this the first visual evidence of a portal ever captured?
Here, as we look at live video footage, you can see that there's clearly nothing draped over the display case and nothing inside of the display case that would seem to block heat or block the image going into the display case. This dark, cold blob also appears to block out a fair portion of the rest of the photo and of the back wall. We've certainly gone to great lengths to try to debunk this, and we want to hear from you. What do you think this dark anomaly is? Take a look at this original photo as I flip through filters on my iPhone. I can assure you the original photo has not been doctored in any way, but some of these filters truly show the dense and dark nature of this incredible anomaly.
We are convinced that this can't be explained by normal phenomena.
If you've seen our videos in the past, you're aware that Peteetneet has given us very impressive paranormal activity over the years. We've had intelligent communication through spirit box devices. What about George Melvin Close, killed on convoy to Europe? George, are you here? Or does the name Louise Ellsworth?
So I think we're here with George and Louise.
But I'm missing.
You went missing?
Have you always been with the Purple Heart?
That's what I want from you.
Says yes.
You want your Purple Heart?
Physical contact.
Chest there. You did?
Was that you? Did you cause me to have that chest pain? Oh, I can feel it. Please stop that.
I felt like something or someone had tugged on my leg.
Figure mapping through our SLS device, and have even had anomalous cold temperatures identified on 2 separate investigations, but both located in the same place, directly around the Purple Heart. Oh, I'm feeling cold. I've got goosebumps. And my screen just shut off. The intelligent and repetitive paranormal activity in this room certainly lead us to believe that the room itself is haunted. Can you make that go all the way up to red? In an attempt to make sure that I wasn't simply buying into my own narrative that there was something paranormal in this photo, I reached out to several friends across the paranormal networks to get their opinion. With each of them, I started with almost no context other than the photo of Jason and then the FLIR image as well. We start here with Clayton from Paracurious. You can find him and his partner Bailey's investigative team on YouTube.
In my opinion, she couldn't see it, but on the left side of the screen, I could see what looked to be a skull figure. It looked like the face of a skull. You could see the indents where the eyes were, and the nose, and like the jawline, and then where the head was around. Yeah, it's very large, whatever that is.
Beaker from the EVP podcast weighed in. He has an ability to sense energy and also has a close contact who is a medium.
So I looked at the picture and there's definitely spirit energy in there. So I did send the picture to my medium and had her look at it. And she actually confirmed there is a male spirit in his late 20s, early 30s in that picture.
I then reached out to Chrissy from the Paranormal Misfits podcast. You can find her podcast anywhere podcasts are distributed.
It is an awfully big mass, so it could be anger. Anger tends to manifest into bigger objects. Is it a person or is it more so just like a mass of energy?
And lastly, we reached out to Adam and Alec Tillery from Creeps Ghost Commandos. They host an excellent paranormal channel on YouTube as well. If you haven't visited their website, make sure to give them a subscription.
Let's say it is an entity of some kind. To me, it looks like it's almost kind of leaning over in a way. Maybe it's got its hands dangling down.
After asking each person to weigh in, I then gave them the context behind the findings that we have had during our previous investigations in this war room, followed by asking the question of whether or not we had documented a portal. I really wanted to make sure that I didn't influence their initial thoughts before asking them this. I feel it's easy to be swayed in the paranormal community by what content tells us to think. Let's hear what they have to say.
I definitely think that's possible with all the evidence going around that Purple Heart thing. For a portal to be right next to it makes a lot of sense in my opinion, because we did a lot of research about spirit portals, because we've been to the Belair house a lot and it's said that they have 13 portals throughout the house, and we actually did a project where we spent a whole week at the Belair house, and a lot of our questions to the spirits were about the portals and how they work. So I definitely think that's possible.
While Clayton's experience with portals led him to believe that it's a possibility that we captured a portal inside of this room, Chrissy was not quite so sure.
I don't think so. So looking around the room, normally, from my understanding, portals are more so like you have glass everywhere, but they're not mirrors, so there's no two-way, right? Mirrors are technically two ways. That's why they end up being portals. Is this near any water?
Astutely, she inquired about nearby ley lines, water sources, mirrors in the room, or whether or not the building had ever been moved. I wasn't aware of any of these things being associated with Peteetneet. However, research afterwards seems to show that there may be a nearby creek named after Peteetneet itself.
But like there is something like hanging out right there.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're able to capture on another device a cold spot in that same general area, Alec and I always like to talk about having two pieces of evidence coincide with one another. And you capturing that with an additional device really adds a little more credibility to there's something strange developing in that one still shot that you have. Portals are not stagnant. I feel like they move around.
Yeah, we have to think about what portals produce. Taking it back to the science and the mechanisms of the FLIR camera. The FLIR is designed to only detect something that has a physical mass to it. Like, for example, if you're in a cold environment, or really any environment, and you blow hot air out your mouth, the FLIR, I don't think it's designed to catch that. Even though it's heat, but it's not really physical enough to be detected on that. So we have to kind of think about what the portal's producing. Is the portal producing something physical or something more atmospheric?
And as if creeps insight wasn't enough.
Because again, like I said, I don't feel like it's a portal or something that's permanently in that one spot. I feel it was an actual like intelligent spirit.
Beaker hits me with an absolute haymaker just to
So
build.
just in this still right here, there's someone standing off to your right behind you. Like in this still right here where you have it paused, on your right hand side, there's someone standing right behind you, kind of in the dark. I could just feel the energy there.
I'm trying to think of where I am. I think I'm right by that purple heart. I am. I'm in that war room. That doesn't surprise me. Now, I had reached out to FLIR asking them about whether or not the device that we had could actually cause this as a known anomaly, perhaps whether it was from air or a smudge. Now, FLIR's comment is that this could have been blurred simply by the FLIR ONE Pro reflecting off the glass. And of course, before we made a statement that this was a portal, we had to make sure that that wasn't the case. Jason and I captured something that I think is so compelling that we are going back to the location specifically to debunk it in the middle of the day.
Yep. Daytime investigation.
Daytime investigations. So as we arrive at Peteetneet, fortunately, no one else was there in the museum, and we had the war room to ourselves. We spent over an hour taking over 130 different photographs. We recreated this 0 times. Fortunately, while we were there, the air conditioning was not on at the beginning. It came on later in the day. As it came on, we tried to take from different angles. We found the vents that it was coming through. We were able to detect no anomalies at all during the time that we were there.
Yeah, the corners of the glass display cases, the metal corners, were all sharp. We didn't see any blurring. The vents for the AC, the temperature difference you could see, but only in the vent. There wasn't a plume of gas, that there might have been a vent that could have caused this.
And furthermore, we did a deep dive research into FLIR products to see whether or not their products would actually detect gas or air as cold temperatures. And only certain products from FLIR are able to do this, and the FLIR ONE Pro cannot detect temperature anomaly from gas. That part of it was huge.
Yeah.
In addition, we tried lights on, lights off. We tried from different angles. We tried whether or not the glass was in the photo, whether or not we were taking it above the photo.
We even tried walking back and forth in front of the camera because we didn't want it to be a delay or a blur from recalibration that may have been an artifact from that particular camera. Now, at the time, I was sitting in the chair, but we just wanted to test all potential explanations.
It's important to note that even though we're several months after the investigation, the layout of the war room is exactly the same as when we investigated. There's no new display cases that could have created odd angles from glass or mirrors. Everything was identical.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, we also took our K2 and some of our other equipment just to see if we could get activity. There was no activity when we did not see the anomaly.
Not at that moment, there sure wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall seeing whatever you feel that is in real time?
It's hard to say because we've talked about it so much that I don't know if it's my memory or just because we've been talking about it.
Yeah.
My gut says that I don't really remember. Like, I don't think that I was aware of it, but also the degree is right in the middle of it. And so it makes me feel like maybe I did see it. And that's what I was trying to figure out, like what the temperature was and what I was seeing.
Yeah.
So, but I just don't recall.
And it's interesting because what you told me, and I don't want to influence your answer now, and we're trying to be very careful about that, that you could see that abnormality when you were walking around even behind the display case. Now, obviously you don't remember that now. That's what I remember you saying. We'll chalk that up to certainly not evidence.
Yeah.
It's tough. We
Yeah.
should have done this interview right after, but
I
we
know.
didn't know that
I
that was
know.
going to be what it was, right? Like, we kind of looked at that, and initially when you sent over the photo to me, did you think there was anything there?
Not really. No,
What do you think it is?
I don't know.
I should note that we don't have direct timestamps from the FLIR image that would line up with our GoPro video footage. However, after discussions with the team and trying to piece together other pieces of video that we have, we can safely say that the time that the FLIR was captured, we were likely in complete darkness in the war room. While editing this video, I did notice that the daytime light that is coming through in the war room did seem to give off a bit sharper lines than the nighttime investigation when the original photo was taken. So I went inside of my bathroom, grabbed the REM pod, turned off all the lights, and took some photos with the mirror in the background and the reflective granite surface in view as well, and I was not able to create that blur. Jason, this photograph has truly been something that has not left either of our minds, I can say safely, for the past month. The evidence that we have to support the paranormal activity in this room and really to back up this anomaly that was captured on the FLIR is incredible.
Yeah, and one of the very interesting things about this is that it hasn't just been one of us getting this evidence. It's been the entire team. I mean, your dad was there when the crash happened. Sarah had her pant leg pulled. You had the chest pain. I've been involved with the Estes method, SLS. So there's been a lot of activity, and it's been over multiple investigations. So it's not like there was one, strange thing going on, a solar storm or whatever that could have caused this. This is consistently going on when we're down there. And a portal could be the unifying theory that explains that.
It really could. So what do you think? We want to hear from you. Is this an entity that we captured? Is it in fact the first documented proof of a portal? Or is it something else? Leave us a note in the comments below. We'll be sure to get back to you.
The word sword keeps popping in my head. I don't know if there's something to do with the sword in that room, or if you got anything on that. It might mean nothing. But when you're describing the chest pain and as you were kind of playing that video, I kind of feel like he didn't die in the initial explosion, more that he drowned.
Oh.
And that chest pain might be like the water like filling his lungs.
Oh gosh.